This episode of the Beauty Industry podcast was brought to you by Private Label Skincare, handcrafted natural skincare products for busy beauty entrepreneurs. Hello and welcome to the Beauty Industry podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry. I am your host, founding director of Beauty Industry, Tamara Reid. Here we are closing the competitive gap and speaking your language. This is a platform created and dedicated to the professional beauty industry, valuing community over competition. We serve to help connect you with inspiration from industry experts, expand your knowledge through educational pieces, and bring you the latest in product and technology innovation. This is Beauty Industry. Hey Beauty community, I just love popping into your ears twice weekly, and I am so happy to see that you are loving the double weekly episodes too. Thank you so much for always posting which episodes you're listening to and how you are listening to them across your social media channels. For today's episode, I wanted to keep in theme with spreading the most motivation and inspiration we can while we are learning how to navigate our way through what the world is currently going through. And I could not think of a better person to do that for you other than the walking sunshine that is Jessika Briggenshaw. Jess is a cosmetic tattoo artist, owner of the multisite beauty salon B Indulged, and the CEO and head trainer of Brow Squad, a training academy for lashes, brows, and cosmetic tattooing across Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. As if that isn't enough, Jess also co-founds the Australian Permanent Makeup Artist Conference with friend of beauty industry Georgie Wesley, who we've spoken to on the podcast previously. Other than being known for her hot pink lipstick and her boss lady power suits, Jess is renowned and well respected throughout the Australian cosmetic tattoo industry and is passionate, which you'll hear throughout the conversation today with lots of giggles, about creating the perfect set of brows for each and every client, which has clients visiting her from all over Australia, New Zealand, and even America. Impressively, Jess was the winner of the 2019 ABIAs, taking home the Cosmetic Tattooist of the Year awards, as well as being a NALA Award nominee. Jess and I recorded this episode of the podcast at the beautiful surrounds of Freedom Suites for you all. I hope this puts a big smile on your dial just as much as it did mine. Here's Jess and I for Beauty Industry. Jessika Briggenshaw, welcome to the Beauty Industry podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Long time in the making.
I know. Well, we have a little bit of a technical difficulty, but here we are. And we've just filmed for Beauty Academy as well, which our community will already know about because I'm sure we have been flooding everyone across all of the socials. So I'm super excited to have you in that program and on the podcast today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to see what the Beauty Academy has to offer our industry. Yeah. Phenomenal. Great idea, babe.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So, Jess, we start the podcast by asking everyone to return all the way back to the start of their career. And I believe you started in a home salon.
Yeah, so I was quite young when I started. I was actually 22 and I opened up my home salon and we focused on lash extensions and spray tanning. And that was such a long time ago that it was, lashes were kind of not really heard of. I did a short half-day course and I did a spray tanning course with an amazing brand, Techno Tan. So I was taught really well how to spray tan. So that's fantastic. And I just did it on the side and I worked full time at my other position. And then I just got really busy and, I could see that. And I loved the hair and beauty industry. I always wanted to be a hairdresser. And I was always told there's so much more to just hairdressing. You're on your feet all day. You're not going to enjoy it. And I was like, okay, no worries. So I went and did other things. And then I was like, I'm not really fulfilling what I really want to do. And I then decided to have introduced like a nail tech into my salon. and then, you know, went and studied more and beauty therapy, and then we had lashes, brows, skin, hair, nails, makeup, all underneath my house.
Wow.
I had 6 staff members. It was crazy town. So that kind of blew up, and a year and a half later, I went and opened up my first salon just around the corner from home, 180 square meters, and it was B Indulged hair, nails and beauty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What does the moment look like where you're in your home salon, you've got 6 therapists, and you go, okay, now it's time to open a clinic?
The car parking. There was cars everywhere. There was people everywhere. It was so busy. And I was so nervous to take that step and almost formalize it to become a salon. You know, you're a home business. There's a bit more flexibility, so to speak. You know, it might be a little bit more relaxed. We still had amazing customer service. We were always booked out. You know, we were really known for our lash extensions and our spray tanning and our brows. And, you know, everything, it just exploded. Facebook exploded it, really. That was the very early days when, you know, oh my God, you've got a business page on Facebook?
Yes.
What's that? So social media from the get-go just blew our business up. And yeah, so I had to look at the car park and look at all the people in the salon and go, okay, now is the time. Yeah, my grandmother actually found this space that we're currently in at the moment. And I had to rebuild it from the ground up. Like every salon that I've had has been a full renovation. Thank you to my lovely team and my husband.
Hubby of the year.
Oh my God, he's amazing. As you've seen him at ABIA and expos, and he's very hands-on, very, very lucky. Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question about the home business then, because this is something that gets asked on our Facebook page a lot.
Oh, okay, great.
Is like, you're obviously in your home.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about welcoming therapists into your space? I mean, clients are one thing, but then having a therapist work from your home, how did you navigate that?
I was really lucky. We had a 2-story house. So we had built in the garages, and then we had I took over my husband's man cave. So there was enough room actually to have 4 beauty rooms, a nail and makeup station. And then the front area where the garage was, we had 6 hair stations and 2 basins. Look, it was very clustered. It was all a learning curve. I had never worked for another salon before.
Right.
So everything I have done, I have learnt along the way.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And made lots of mistakes. Will be the first one to put my hand up and go, you know what? Jess, you need to make that work better next time.
So you've never been employed really by anyone else in the beauty industry?
Never.
Wow.
No. So unfortunately, I've had to look elsewhere for mentors, or I've had to do a lot of training. I've done a lot of business training. I go to a lot of business seminars. Like, I don't stop learning. Like last year, I went to England. I went to America. Oh God, I went somewhere else as well. Oh, I hosted a business retreat in Bali.
Just that.
I'm always exploring. And then at MAC, you know, that's bringing that education to Australia. I'm so hungry for education. Like you say, Jess, there's education. I'll check my calendar, and if I'm free, I'm there.
Yes.
Like, it just excites me. So it was pretty hectic. Definitely.
Amazing. And so tell me then, Be Indulged is now 2 locations.
Yes.
When was that decision to open a separate space? Because your first location was out in Ipswich, and then the second one was in Brisbane. I mean, normally people kind of go the next suburb, but you went like 45 suburbs.
Yeah, so when I branched into cosmetic tattooing, I had a lot of clients from all around Australia come to me. So I had to look for something closer for them on the train line or closer to the airport. So I did a lot of searching, and I found a beautiful space at Graceful, which was right opposite the train station. So this was perfect. And it was just a small clinic. It was 3 bays. And we set that up to be more focused on the cosmetic tattooing side of things. And then I fell pregnant with my second, and things kind of went a little bit pear-shaped because I was split between 2 areas, and I did a rebrand and a restructure. We got rid of hairdressing and focused more so on lashes, brows and skin, because I really saw that when I was at Graceful, that was my true passion. I love hairdressing. I love the creative side of hairdressing. Don't get me wrong. I am so excited to do an upstyle and a balayage. But lashes, brows and skin, it just excited me. But seeing those transformations with cosmetic tattooing, the tears, the excitement when the clients see their brows for the first time and they hug you and they're like, oh my God, I've never had brows for 20 years, or, you know, it's just so beautiful. So yeah, that's why I did have to come a little bit closer to Brisbane. And now I'm even closer. I'm at Paddington. We don't have the Graceful salon at the moment because we had to find a bigger space for the Training Academy. So we're now in Paddington. So that's about 300 square meters.
Amazing. And so talk to me then, because I want to ask you about the niche business, because, you know, back in the day, as you said, you were doing hair and skin and beauty and nails and everything. And then we've kind of gone, okay, I love this enough that I want to specialize in it. How do you kind of view that niche industry, and how do you become perfect, or maybe not perfect's the right word, but amazing at one thing and not dilute everything else that you're doing?
It was a bit of a combination of things. I loved performing the treatments for the cosmetic tattooing, and I also had to look at the figures. I had to see what was performing, what was causing me the most stress, what wasn't working, how can I, you know, I had to really dig deep, because hair and beauty was originally my business. So I had to completely rechange everything, being like 6 months pregnant. That was crazy. And, you know, it was exciting all at the same time, because I was almost like, you know what, I can now truly focus on what makes my heart sing. And to me now, that's what I'm doing this year. What makes myself happy, what makes my family happy. I'm doing a little bit more self-care this year, because the last 10 years has been give, and everyone take.
Yes.
So this year is a bit more of a Jessika year.
Good.
Dare I say. And I feel like bosses need to do that. If pedicures aren't working, manicures aren't working, you know, we just recently had a conversation that spray tans aren't pulling in the dollars. Do we turn that room into a tattooing room? Well, that's a no-brainer. You know, we might get 3 tans a week now. That is because everyone can do it themselves.
Yes.
And there's beautiful places that specialize in it now. And don't get me wrong, I can spray tan till my heart like to desire, and eyes closed, and turn around, and I can spray tan myself. I love it. But at the same time, I have to do business.
Yeah.
I have to do business. I can market it. We could get a little bit busier with spray tans. So I've worked so hard to price myself in cosmetic tattooing now, that I'm nearly $1,000 for a set of brows, including your touch-ups. So I price it over 2 appointments, so it's more affordable for my clients, and better for cash flow. And I was like, I'm going to hone in on that. And it makes me happy. It makes my clients happy. I'm working a little bit smarter, not harder this year. And, you know, if bosses are really nervous about looking at, you know, taking away treatments, it just might be you might need to collaborate with someone that specializes in those business and direct them to that particular business and work together. Why are we seeing another spray tanning business as competition? They specialize in spray tans. We specialize in brows. That's a no-brainer.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm wanting just hone in a little bit more, even further now. And, if you're nervous, look at your figures and do what makes you happy.
Yes, you're speaking all of my language.
Oh, good.
Because I do. I completely agree with you. Even at spaces that I used to direct, we would be great at facials, great at massage, great at body treatments.
Yeah.
And then a pedi would come in and all the girls would shit themselves and go, oh my God, Tamara, I can't do a French. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I thought one day,
hurts my back.
Yeah. And I thought, this is just insane. If we can't do a 5-star pedicure or manicure,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, some of those low cost treatments, they're not worth your time if your time or the room or the space is better spent elsewhere. And I love that. And I know, I wanted to ask you about mentors, because we've had a chat at our beauty brunch and also offline as well about Faye Murray being one of your mentors.
Yes.
And I know
my fairy godmother.
Yes. but Faye always talks about the figures, and I feel like for us as beauty therapists, we're creative, right? And as you said, brow people are artists. Like, it's not just something that you can learn how to do. And we'll touch base on that in a minute. But sometimes we look at the financials, or we know, okay, we shouldn't be doing pedicures or spray tans or whatever that looks like for our business, but we just do it anyway because we want to shy away from the figures.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little, maybe how much kind of insight Faye's been able to give you into the financials, and what were you feeling about the financials before that?
I have always been quite big on figures, and Faye just breaks it down a little bit further. At the start of the year, I will review the last 12 months of business. I've always done that. I will look at my ebbs and flows, what month has worked, and I'll have a look at what marketing I was doing for that particular month and go, okay, well, that month really worked, let's kind of replicate, or let's do something slightly different, better, more exciting, bigger, and get that pumping. Look at the quiet months. How can I improve those quiet months? What wasn't working? Was it school holidays? Were people away? Did we not rebook? Was it staff turnover? Just a lot of evaluating, and figures are gold. They run my life. I have my PA, dare I say, and she hates talking figures. I'm all about the figures. Faye's all about the figures. And you can't run a business without knowing your figures. You need to know what dollars coming in, you need to know what dollars coming out. And it can get you into a sticky situation if you don't know your dollars. There's one thing that I have done in my business is I've somewhat trusted the wrong people previously to handle dollars and handle figures. And it has really cost me in those regards. And I've had to sit back over the last 2 months and really evaluate my figures and go, why am I busting my ass? Sorry, Tamara.
It's fine.
For not much. When if I could really focus and hone in on something that's making me really good dollars right now, and imagine putting 110% focus on that, that's just going to grow more, and that excites me, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I'm spread so thin across so many different platforms that this year, like I said, is a Jessica year, and I'm going to focus and hone in on the things that I do well and that make money.
Yes.
So figures are the most important thing. You need to know them. Unfortunately, if you're shying away from them, don't. Get to know them, get familiar with them. Faye just really reiterated that. She's really happy with how much I know my figures. We sit down and we talk quite often, actually, every single time we talk, that's exactly the first question. She's like, here's your figures, let's go through this, what can we do here, what can we do there? And if you are nervous about talking to figures, having that mentor or that coach can really help you and guide you. And that's been one of the most amazing things, is just having that professional input with Faye. I can't thank her enough. It's been phenomenal to have that support. And it's enabled me to grow. And she pushes me, which is good. Yes. Accountability.
You were talking before about feeling spread thin.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to ask you, obviously you already sound so passionate about education and learning yourself. Where did the need for yourself to become an educator and open brow squad and have little mini yous run around and teach brows?
I think it was just, I was getting frustrated myself with what was available in Australia for such a niche market, the cosmetic tattooing side of things. I had to look to America, Russia, overseas, and I was like, this is not fair. If that's how I'm feeling, maybe other people are feeling like that as well. And I just had a lot of people asking for it. Jess, do you do training? Jess, do you do training? And I'm like, no, that's not, I'm not prepared. I'm not ready for that. I don't think I'd be a good trainer. Self-doubt, 100%. And just a few personal things happened in my life, that made me almost not do brow squad at all. And then I had this one particular person, Daryl, who was my PA at the time. She's like, you really need to believe in yourself and you really need to see the potential that you have for brow squad. And I was like, oh, I don't know. No. And she's like, you just need to do it and put your feelers out there. So we kind of bit the bullet. And I started up a little Facebook page and a little Instagram page, and I had like my first booking in the first 2-3 days.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, this is real. Is this actually going to happen? I had to organize a curriculum. I pretty much put it out there before I had anything in place.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, that's how, okay, let's do it. And all in the excitement. And then I was like, okay, all right, I've studied my TAE, that's awesome. And then now I've got to get the curriculum. What am I going to teach? How am I going to teach it? Where am I going to teach it? Oh my God, Rick, I need you to build me a training academy. He was like, oh my God.
Insert hubby.
Yeah. So, this was 2 babies, 2 salons. I think my little boy was, I think Cruz was only like 6 months old or something. He was only so young. And I didn't have my grandmother with me, my number one support person who would normally help me do all those things. I really had to do it on my own, and with Daryl's help, of course. But then, I literally, a few things happened, and because Daryl was from England, so had to get sponsorship and had to do that with another company. So I literally started up Brow Squad by myself, and we were just inundated with inquiries with sculpting and tattooing, and I really hesitated to do tattooing first, to be completely honest, for training. I wasn't actually going to do it. I was just going to do sculpting and henna, and teach the way I teach, because I actually use a particular type of wax that I've created. It's a strip wax for brows, which, as you know,
controversial.
Yeah, very much. But this is absolutely beautiful. It's really thin. It's great for sensitive skin, all skin types. We tried and tested it in the salon on our own clientele for years before, like, I even released it to the market or even thought about putting it in a training academy. So it was definitely an exciting adventure, when we went down the path of teaching those methods of waxing. And it's all kind of just blown up from there. So I'm really excited to bring to Australia a different level of training. I'm really hands-on. None of my classes don't have models. They're all working on live models. Amazing. I feel as a therapist and artist, we learn by being hands-on. I need to be on the skin, see how the skin reacts.
Yes.
See my seating, my posture, my timing, I call it my mojo. I have to get my mojo. And I say that to all my clients. I'm like, guys, you need to make sure you've got your mojo right. And that's when you're going to do really good treatments for the clients. And so everything we do at Brow Squad is hands-on. So, and that's, a bit different.
After the break, we hear from Jess on how cosmetic tattoo artists can perfect their craft, as well as finding out how she teaches brow artists to build their business in more ways than one. But first, a word from today's beauty partner. Friend and feature of the podcast, Karina Khan of Private Label Skincare is currently helping aspiring beauty entrepreneurs start their own professional, natural and vegan skincare range for only $500. Yes, that's right. For this small investment, you'll get everything you need for your very own skincare brand to get off the ground with products that are ready to sell in just 2 weeks. Included in this incredible deal are 30 retail-sized products that have been formulated and tested by Karina, the founder and qualified cosmetic chemist behind Private Label Skincare, 2 online courses that have been written specifically to support skincare business owners, label templates and printing, a training manual, and free postage and handling within Australia. There's never been a better time to make use of your downtime, get creative, and start building the business and brand that you have always dreamed of. This offer will only run until Tuesday, 29th of April 2020, so if you're looking for an affordable, quick and easy way to start your own skincare range, then you best not miss out. Visit www.privatelabelskincare.com.au for more information. And now, back to Jess. Tell me then, because we kind of spoke a little bit about this offline, you can get a tattooing pen off Alibaba tomorrow.
Yes. Right?
Or off eBay or off anywhere. And then so there are some therapists, and we've all seen the nightmare photos on Facebook, they come on, they do a 2-day training course, and then they go and open up a business tomorrow. Mm-hmm. How long does it actually take, or how much practice does somebody need to kind of perfect and get their mojo? You've been practicing with yours for so long.
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they become amazing at brows?
Well, your first stepping stone is a really good fundamental course. That is going to get your foot in the door, but it does not stop there. You need to continually and constantly be learning, adapting, latex, constant practice. We offer a 5-day class that's with 6 live models, but that's still, oh my gosh, I could give them 3 months. But realistically, no one has 3 months. My students have to go and do a lot of homework. They have to do a lot of case studies. They have to be drawing a lot. And this is something, as a therapist, we've never had to draw on paper before.
Yeah.
We've never had to draw straight lines. We've never had to map up brows and be a mil for a mil. All these particulars we've never had to be before. So I definitely put my beginner students through their paces, to the point on a Friday in my class that I'm like a fly on the wall, and I have built them up that they can do the treatment without me from start to finish, which is absolutely phenomenal. And it's like watching my babies grow. I get very excited and very emotional. And mind you, the students, when I say that on the Monday, they're very nervous. They're like, oh my God, what? You're not going to help? What do you mean? I'll just be like, I'll be right beside you, but I really want you to do the whole treatment from start to finish without me. So then when you go home and when you go back in your clinic on the Monday, you can hit the ground running. And that's what I really like, all my students can do. And it's amazing because they've had really good fundamental training for 5 days, and I've tested them, and they've got so much homework. On the Monday, they are like walking in really confident. This is easy. I've got this. And I'm like, yeah, no. I'm going to blow your mind for the next 5 days. And truly, every single student says that. And they're like, you just give so much. Nothing is off limits, be it mum life, be it, technique, be it business, be it social media. I am at their mercy, and I just give everything to them, not just in that 5 days, but also in the private group. And they have my mobile number, they have access to me on Facebook.
Yes.
I follow their businesses, I support their journeys. I'm really excited to see how they thrive. And I never had that. I never had that support when I started. I had a 5-day class learning brows, lips, and liner. And in my first half an hour, I was on a client.
Right.
I had no idea what I was doing. That petrified me. So then the following week, I went back into my studio or my clinic and my salon, and I booked myself out for that whole week, learning everything not to do. I made mistakes. I learnt from them. I possibly went too deep into the skin. I learnt from it. I didn't like that style. I learnt from it. Everything is a learning curve with cosmetic tattooing. But if you set yourself up right and you practice perfect the first time round, it sets you up to have a really successful business. And that's what Brow Squad's really proud of, that we are able to do that, and they do have access to me. I've had students that have done all different elements for their courses, so brows, lips, liner, advanced, sculpting, henna, and then come to Bali and done business training with me.
Yes.
I've had students do over 5 classes with me. So I feel like I'm pretty confident in saying I feel like I deliver a really good educational program.
Amazing. Well, that's what I noticed. I think when you were talking just then, I was thinking so much about, sometimes as therapists, and I see this a lot, we might be the top performer, the top retailer, the top rebooker, great at providing a treatment. So then we go, oh, this is easy. I can make more money myself. Now I'll become my own business owner. But then when we become our own business owner, we're still the best therapist, still the top retailer, top rebooker, but now we're also the CEO of marketing. Now we're also the general manager of social media, the general manager of our bookkeeping and accounting. And I think that's what I like and appreciate about your business. I mean, I haven't done the course myself. I can say, oh God, put me with a pen on someone's eyebrows. No. But, it sounds like you offer quite a holistic point of view about the business. You're not just teaching somebody how to do the treatment, but it's all of that social media. And as you said, all of the business stuff. And we were talking offline again. We've done a lot of talking offline today, but, about the accounting and looking at your profitability and looking at the products that you're using. And I appreciate that, because people are going to get out there and open their own business, and it's going to be a step easier for them than if they hadn't known all of that prerequisite.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's almost my responsibility, because they're entrusting me with their money, their career. If I can give them the do's and don'ts of everything I've learned over the last 10 years for their business and what has helped me thrive, and what I've learned from my mistakes, I would love to pass that on to my students and to my fellow therapists and boss babes. I think it's really important that what is the saying that you say? It's collaboration over competition.
Yes.
And I think that's beautiful. And you know what? That wasn't around such a long time ago. I felt so alone. I don't want my students to ever feel alone ever again. I encourage them to do the fundamentals, and also then here's my girlfriend down in Melbourne. Georgie does blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And, then other trainers around Australia. Like, I feel like if we can all come together, then we can lift the industry and support each other and all do beautiful work and educate our clients and our students to be more knowledgeable, because, it is a niche market. It's not new, but we're still learning a lot about cosmetic tattooing. And, that was a big reason why Georgie and I founded the APMAC, Australian Permanent Makeup Conference. We don't have anything like that in Australia.
Yeah. So
we brought all of Australia and overseas together, which was the most exciting weekend and the most adrenaline pumping weekend of my life. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I just think it's so important to to help each other. And if I've got that knowledge, then why not pass it on? They're only got to do better. And I think that's awesome. Like, I just held a mentor day just recently this week, and I invited previous students back that have come and done courses with me. It was exclusive just to my previous students because I wanted to help them even more. Because sometimes 5 days or 1 day advance or 2 days is just not enough. Mind you, they have access to me 24/7, but what else can I give them? And so this mentor day was amazing, and it was exclusive. There was only 4 in the class.
Beautiful.
It was hands-on, so we did, we had a round table discussion first, and then we did live models, and I was able to almost, I kind of call it, get my Tabitha on. I was no filter, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. I was a lot stronger because that relationship had already been built. And the results that these girls got from that class was next level. And they're already amazing anyway, but it was just awesome to really fine tune and hone in on just little particulars that they may have not seen that they're doing. And I'm like, you're doing this, you're doing that, let's do this, let's try that. And they're like, oh my God, I've never noticed. Or it was really awesome. So just looking at aspects to give back to my current students, as well as, the future to the cosmetic tattooing world with ABIA. So lots going on. And I want to ask you about that as well. No, that's all right. People look at you as that inspirational person, and you're giving me a funny face because we don't see that of ourselves, but you are, social media is very glossy, but at every event you're in the pink and you've got this big bright lipstick on, and you're always got a big beautiful smile across your face and look like you're killing it. And I want to talk about that kind of self-doubt and comparison, because it is a reality, and people don't realize, because Instagram and Facebook, it's a highlights reel, right? And we know that. We know it's our best days, but we still look at it and still compare. Like, how does that ever kind of come into your peripheral, and how do you deal with that? I have had to not compare, because otherwise we'll go down a bit of the rabbit hole, on the social media. I'm not using this filter, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Why can't I get this angle? Why? And I'm like, focus on my lane. Focus on what you're doing amazing at. And yes, in the last 6 months, I just ticked so many goals off last year. I was like, what do I do now?
Yes.
I had a 5-year plan, and I kind of smashed it out in a year. And I kind of was like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, and it's amazing, but there's a lot of pressure.
And as far as inspiration, I'm just me. I'm just a mom. I'm hardworking. I make mistakes. I learn from them. I have to pick myself back up. I cry at night. I online shop and stress, and my hair falls out, and I've had to focus a little bit more on me this year, and not compare, because it will eat you alive. And it did do that for a little bit, and now I'm refocusing, I'm re-strategizing everything I do right now. I'm in the process of doing it. It's going to be a long haul, but I'm really excited on focusing on me. I'm back to doing the gym. Like, I used to do netball 3-4 times a week, and that was my life outside of work. And I retired from netball, so to speak. Much to a few of my girlfriends, they're not too happy about it. But it was a negative environment there. And I removed myself from that.
Yeah.
And I focused last year And the things that I achieved was incredible because I forgot about that self-doubt and I just went for it. Thanks to Miss Faye. She really pushed me. She's like, stop self-doubting yourself. You're amazing. Just do it. Just go for it. And I had a crack at it. So to speak, I'm such a Sheila, aren't I? I'm such an Aussie girl. And you know, that is it. I am just me. You know, I have 2 crazy boys. I make mistakes. I've had staff that have done wonderful things off, you know, what I've taught them. They've come in and worked for me and they've then went on and built their brand. And you know, that at times has hurt and I've had self-doubt. What did I do wrong? How could I have done it better? But at the same time, everyone's got to make their choices. I can't change that. But I'm going to go, you know what? Best of luck. I hope you have a really good crack because being your own boss is bloody hard. I do not stop. Everyone's like, you're killing it. You're amazing. Oh my God, no way.
Yes.
Not at all. Behind the scenes, I crumble some days. I don't want to get out of bed, but I have no choice. I've got 2 boys. I don't have the option to stop. I have to get up and go.
Yeah.
And you know, to some people that's like, oh yeah, that's easy, or some people, oh shit, that must be really hard. But I just do it. Like, you know, like Nike, just do it.
What does self-care look like for you? Do you do anything special to refill your cup?
Let's not tell my husband. I would say retail therapy.
Yes.
Don't tell my husband. Don't tell anyone. I do love a bit of retail therapy. And
do you go by yourself or you went online?
A bit of both, actually. Like a bit of both. And I'd quite like, it's quite funny. I try to do floats, but I sit on there on my phone in the float.
Yeah. That's so naughty.
And I'm like, I can't do this. My time is better spent elsewhere. I need to just go do something. Like maybe like regular massages. I am trying, like F45 at the moment is kind of my go-to to not have a Britney Spears 2007 shave my head off. I do not have the bone structure for that. Sorry, no, not happening. But I really do like shopping, unfortunately. But then I know when I can and I can't. So I'll save my pretty little pennies. I'll work hard for them. And I will splurge on a particular item. And then I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I get really excited. And then I'll do it all over again.
Well, it's your hard work paying off, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's say that.
Yeah, Camilla is definitely a big part of my life. I do love that particular brand. It's just bright and sparkly and happy. And, you know, after I had a baby, you don't feel so great, right?
Yeah.
But a client walked in my door one day and she was wearing this gorgeous caftan and she was just oozing like positivity, and I was just like, oh my God, who are you?
I need that.
Yes. I was like, tell me everything about this. What is all that? And she told me about it, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, I can't spend that much. And then I worked like, I don't know, I think it was like the 30th or the 31st of December by myself, and it was a really big day, and I was like, I got paid, and I, you know, when you kind of, I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, stuff it.
I didn't tell my husband.
Yeah.
And I came home and he's like, oh yeah, did you get that from Vinny's?
And you're like, if only you knew.
Oh my God. You know, it's new.
Thank God for separate bank accounts.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So now I do have a little bit of an addiction, I would say, and it has spread to my friends and my clients, and we just kind of talk about Camilla, and shopping. I'm a sucker. And new tattooing things.
Yes.
Kid in the candy store.
Yes.
Kid in the candy. And I think that's why, like, I have developed my wax. I have developed microblades. I have developed, particular items for the PMU industry, because I love it and it makes me excited. Yeah.
Yes. Without putting too much pressure on you, because you've already got 2 clinics, Brow Squad, so Training Academy, Wholesale Academy, and an event at MAC.
Yeah.
What does the future look like for you? I mean, I don't even know where to start. What does it look like?
I have collaborated, and I'm heading to America in June.
Amazing.
I put on a bit of an event for my students, and we're going to Byron this year. So our
Beautiful.
little Brow Squad business retreat, it's kind of just talking all things business and just really strategizing with my students. And I did open it to new people last year when we went to Bali, and that was awesome. And each one of those students that came to Bali, I've actually seen them grow, and I remember their vision boards, and I remember what they had on their vision boards, and they've achieved it. Like, it just gives me goosebumps. Like, it makes me so excited. So helping with my students and to anyone in that PMU world or that brow and lash world, because it is really a niche industry, and sometimes we feel quite alone. So that's what I'm kind of trying to close the gap with and help fellow artists. We have got ABIA coming up this year. This is bigger than ever. It's a 3-day event at the Gold Coast. Georgie and I are just absolutely blown away with some of the speakers we have booked. Oh my God. If you're not coming to ABIA, you need to. So it's, it's networking, it's education, it's glitz and glamour. We've got a cocktail night, we've got an awards night. There is nothing that I leave off those 3 days. I really covered everything.
Amazing.
And I have a secret little project that I have been working on for the better part of nearly a year and a half now. And that is Jessika B Brows, and I said it out loud.
Yay! Amazing.
So a few people may have had a glimpse of it over my Instagram. And that's just going to align with cosmetic tattooing really nicely, just to help make our job easier with brow products. So really excited about that. And what else is there? Like I said, a bit of a restructure, just because we are heading to America. We've just got so much going on that I really need to pick and choose what makes me happy, and focus in on what does well, and look at those figures. Really look at those figures. That's something that Faye is always, as we've discussed, really big in. And, maybe 2021, maybe a baby. Who knows?
Oh.
So, look, my plate is never empty.
Amazing. Incredible. You've got a big year ahead of you.
Yes, very much so.
Amazing. Jess, thank you so much for coming and having a chat with me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me and finally getting the opportunity to come together and have a really good chat. And hopefully I've helped other fellow brow artists and lashes and beauty bosses and therapists out there.
I am sure you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, having one business is hard enough, but Jess has 4 businesses. What an actual legend of a woman. I love the theme in this episode that we need to completely understand our business intrinsically for the growth and development of our work, and this is the perfect opportunity to do exactly that. Jess is the most beautiful person inside and out and has an absolute heart of gold, and forever leaves me wanting to be more kind-hearted and humble in a way that I live my life and do my business. I would love for all the PMU world to tune into this episode and listen to Jess's advice on business, branding, and brows. So if you've loved today's episode, please feel free to take a photo, as you've been doing so beautifully well, and post it on your social media channels or stories and tag Jess and I, because we would love to keep the conversation going and spread the word further. You'll find Jess across all of the social media platforms by searching for her at Cosmetic Tattooing _by_Jessika, and that's Jessika with a K-A. Of course, if you're not sick of me yet, come and join in the chats that we've been having over in our Facebook community by searching for Beauty Industry Facebook community, original, I know. Or you can follow us at Beauty Industry and myself at Tamara Shaw Reid. Until next time, stay connected.